Guys, welcome back to React.js. In this video, we are going to see how to develop React.js application for simple interest calculator. So we are going to collect input from the user, and when the user click the button, how to process the input, and we are going to see how to display the output also. So in this video, we are going to discuss about how to create React.js project and integrate Bootstrap CSS Framework. Then we are going to discuss about how to implement React.js functional component, useState, that is React.js hooks for state management, and how to process the input, how to read and store the input, and how to process the input by using event handling. So let us start by creating the React.js project by using VS Code. So first of all, we have to create a folder for storing our React application. First, I'll create one folder called simple interest application. So this is any name you can give. You can create this folder and open this folder for our application and open the terminal. First, we have to ensure that Node.js is installed or not by using this node -- version command. So it is installed successfully already. So we have to install this one Node.js if it is not there, right? So first we can create a once it is installed Node.js, we can create the React.js project. For that we have to use npm create wait at latest. Then we can give the project name my React app. So press enter. Now it will ask select framework. We have to select React framework, and then we have to select the variant JavaScript. Then we have to select yes for roll down wait. Then we have to select no for install with npm start now, right? So this we can do step by step. So we can select no. Now the project is created successfully. Now we have to follow these 3 steps. First we have to go to cd, change directory to our React app. Then after changing directory to that React app, we can install a dependency by using npm install command. Now this will install the libraries, extra additional libraries for this project. Then we can test the application, right? So now we have a project is ready in this folder, and we have a index.html. So this is a main program, main output you will be getting in the front end. Okay, so let us see the output here. Npm to see the output we have to type npm run dev. So now this project is automatically deployed in localhost, and you can see the output in the localhost 5173 port number. You have to click this link. So you can see the output here. This is the default response from this exercise in this particular project, the default output. This we can change. Let us see how to change. Okay, so here we have a index.html. Here this root division section will be updated by React app. The React app is created in main.jsx file. Okay, so in main.jsx file we have a function called create root function. This create root function having a function called render function. This render function will identify the root division from this index.html, and there it will be updating the UI. So how it will be updated? So it will be updated as a functional component. So every component is included like this app component. Okay, so this app component we are importing from app.jsx. So we have to go to this app.jsx. So this is a code for creating the user interface design for this front end. Okay, so here we can customize, or we can delete this, we can rewrite everything. Okay, so we are going to rewrite everything, and here CSS is also used, the plain CSS index.css used. We can use another framework called Bootstrap. Like here we can integrate Bootstrap. So we can delete this CSS and we can save this, and we can delete CSS from here also. We can save this particular file. Okay, so here we have deleted everything. So now we are going to install Bootstrap, right? So to install Bootstrap, first again we have to go to new terminal by just click this plus symbol. Go to new terminal, cd my React app, go to that project directory, in npm install. We have to type npm install Bootstrap. So this will install the Bootstrap library. Now once you install Bootstrap library, this Bootstrap we have to include in main.jsx. Okay, so how to include main.jsx is you have to type import the single quote. After installing Bootstrap, there is a folder will be created called Bootstrap, and under that destination folder, under that CSS, under that there is a file called bootstrap.min.css, and one more library called the JavaScript Bootstrap library. We have to include /dist/js, and inside we have a bundle.js, bundle.min.js. So this is a for modern UI designs we can use this also. Okay, JavaScript. Okay, so now we have set the Bootstrap UI framework. This Bootstrap we can apply in app.jsx. So in app.jsx, this program we can delete the ender. We can select everything, we can delete. So we are going to design this app.jsx as per our example. So here we are going to design this symbol interest calculator. So let us start how to do that. So what is functional component? Functional component is a JavaScript function. It returns the HTML page. Okay, which returns HTML page. We can write like using function, the file name app function, which returns a HTML content. Okay, so return is a function. Inside we can return using a container box, division box. Okay, so here we can return anything. For example, we can return some designs like symbol interest calculator, like that. Okay, now this is the syntax, and we have to export this also. Okay, we have to export by using export default and this particular app name. Okay, so that this app name app.jsx we can import here. Okay, so if you export only, we can import. Okay, so this app.css is not required. We are going to use Bootstrap framework. Okay, so now the output look like this, empty, nothing is there, right? So it is nothing is available here. Now we are going to design this symbol interest calculator. So let us start with first we have a container box. Okay, so this is a container. We can use class name. So like this only we have to use Bootstrap. Just use container, and inside container we are going to use a card CSS layout. So for that we are going to use a card layout. Okay, so now we'll be getting a card here. Inside the card we are going to use a card body section. So we create one more division tag, and inside we are going to create a card-body. Okay, so in this card-body, first we are going to use a heading. So heading can be h2 or h3, or we can use any tag. We can display like this, symbol interest calculator. Right, so now we are getting the output. This is the output we are getting, symbol interest calculator, right? So the card card layout will be getting this border line, rounded corner border line, and the card view having full width, right? It is using 100%. So let us change this to width to 50%. Okay, the now card changed to this much only. Now under this card we can make this card body as a center. Okay, so we can give a margin auto here, margin auto, so that it will come center, and the top margin we can keep it as the large, some gap, we can give some gap. Okay, now the symbol interest is coming here, and we are going to bring it to center. To bring it to center we have to use class name text center, and also we can display this text as using a blue color using text -primary. So we have to use the Bootstrap classes. Okay, so we are getting like this, right? So followed by we can create different input text box. Okay, first we let's start with the section label, and in this label we are going to use the first label is principal amount. Okay, principal amount, and within bracket this is a principal amount. So we need this INR symbol, right? So we can use this, copy this INR symbol, and we can place it here. And this label we have to design using form-label. That is a Bootstrap style we are going to use. Then followed by we can create a text box. The text box we can keep it as number, and we can give a placeholder also. For example, we can give amount. Okay, we can display like this. Okay, principal amount, and followed by the class, that is very important, called form-control. We are going to use form-control. Okay, so now the output will be like this. Okay, so here you can see the amount is coming here and the principal label is coming here, right? So this is about that one label is created, one text box is also created. Okay, so this we have to repeat. Okay, so after this one more thing is, here we have to use margin bottom 3. After this, the text box, we are going to give margin bottom 3. So we can copy paste 3 times and save it. When you save it, you can see 3 text boxes actually generated, but all are principal. We have to modify this, right? So how will you modify? We can go to this as per this. The next is interest rate. Okay, annual rate. Okay, so as per this here, annual rate within bracket percentage. Okay, annual rate within bracket percentage we have to use. Okay, now inside this example we can give some like 7.5 like this. Okay, we can give some hint message in the placeholder. Okay, how to what is the expected input, example 7.5. Then the last one is the tenure, number of years. Okay, tenure is a period of the deposit. Okay, so years, in years we have to use. So we have to use example 5 or 6 something. Okay, so we can give some examples how to type the input. Okay, so now text box is ready. Next we are going to create a button. So copy the section division, and here we are going to use the button tag, and the type of the button is button, and the class name is, we are going to use btn primary. Okay, so this btn primary will give the blue color button. Okay, so what you want to display inside button, we have to use the text calculate. Okay, so now it will be displayed over here, and we can bring this button to center. For that, this section we can use text center, so the button comes to center of the screen. Okay, now after this button we are going to place one HR line. Okay, HR line is as per this design, we are going to place one HR line. Then we are going to create a result section. So these are result section. First row is having simple interest, and another is actually the data. Okay, so we are going to display 2 columns. So we are going to create a 2 rows. Okay, so we can create a first row by using class name. In Bootstrap we have a class called row. This will create a row, and we can have a column. We can create a column by using by using this. In the first column we are going to display the simple interest. Okay, right, simple interest is we are going to display. Now this is nothing but a column, but column we are going to divide as 2 parts. So total columns are actually 12 columns. We are going to divide 2. So column 6, one part is column 6, another part is column 6. Okay, so here only we are going to display the result. Later we can do that. Okay, similarly we are going to create one more section, one more row, and inside we are going to display the total amount. Okay, total amount including interest. Okay, so these are 2 result we are going to display. Okay, so remember, so this is a place we are going to display the result. Okay, the calculated interest and the total amount. Okay, so now that the design look like this, right? So here you can see the design look like this. We are going to read all these data, and we are going to process the simple interest and total amount. Okay, so the next we are going to discuss about is how to use React JS hooks. Okay, what is the use of hooks? Hooks are actually nothing but a function which will store data as well update the data. Okay, so there is one function called useState. By using this we can create a React state variables. Okay, so let us create this React hook. Okay, so in order to use React hook, first we have to import the React hook. That is actually useState. Okay, we have to import useState from React. Okay, from React library we have to use useState. Now let us create some state variables. How to create state variables? Okay, you cannot create inside return function. Outside return function we have to create state variables. Okay, so let's create state variables. So first state variable is principal amount. Okay, so we can create a variable like this. Okay, amount is a first variable and set amount is a function, and here we are going to use useState with the default value is float, right? It's floating point number, so 0.0. Okay, we can give 0.0. That's a default value for this particular state. Similarly, we can create another variable called rate of interest. So this is also a float variable, right? So we can use set rate. Okay, look at this. This is a use statement. Use state is nothing but state, data, and a modifier function. Okay, state and modifier function. Okay, so that modifier logic is automatically comes. Okay, we no need to write modifier logic, just you have to write the function. Okay, the next one is tenure is number of years, right? Set tenure is another modifier function. So here also we have to use use state 0.0. Okay, so this is actually data variable to store the data. Okay, similarly to display the result we need a result state variable. Okay, result variables we have to create the same manner. We can create result variable. One is simple interest. Okay, the interest. Okay, the interest is a first result variable we are going to calculate, and that we have to set also, set interest. Okay, so how will you create use state, and by default we don't know about what is the result, right? So by default it is null, and we are going to create the another result variable called total amount. Okay, total amount. Okay, then set total amount, right? So total amount we have to create another variable, use state. Okay, so by default it is null, we have to calculate. Okay, so now state variable is ready for input, and this is result variable. Okay, now we created a state variable, three variables, amount, rate, tenure. We have to attach this state variables to the user input box. Okay, we have a text box, right? We have three text box. For every text box the appropriate state variable to be attached. Okay, to be mapped. So for that, go to the input tag, and we can go to we can add attribute called value attribute equal to, how to map, you have to use this curly brace, and we have to attach the first state variable. Okay, so now the amount is a state variable, it is mapped with the text box. Okay, so now the default value 0.0 is assigned to the text box. Okay, now when the user change the text box we have to modify. For that we have to call on change function. So we have to call on change event. So here event handling is applied, on change, and here we have to take the event object and use arrow function, and we have to use this function set amount. Okay, we have to use the set amount function, and inside we have to pass the value entered by the user. How will you access the value? E dot from the target, from the event object dot target dot value. Okay, right? So target is nothing but the current input box, that is called target. Okay, the same thing we have to do for this text box also. So here we have to link the variable called rate, right? Annual rate, and followed by the on change. We can do like this, on change, the e object, arrow function, set rate, e dot target. The same thing we have to, you can copy paste also, and we can modify, just we have to modify the state variable and function. Okay, so first one is value is equal to the tenure, the last third input is tenure, and we have to link that on change. We have to use the bracket e, right, and inside set tenure. Okay, set tenure within bracket e dot target dot value. Okay, so this is very important, how to map the state variable to the input element, as well as how to update using, whenever user type, we have to update the state variable by using on change also. Okay, so now the input state is created and we have mapped. Okay, now we have to read this value and we have to calculate the symbol interest. So for that we have to go for event handling, another event handling called button. Okay, so when user click this button, I want to perform an event handling called on click, right? So we can use on click here, and which is equal to curly brace. We have to write one function name. The function name we can write like this: handle calculate. Okay, calculate operation. Okay, so this is a function name, handle calculate. Okay, so you can have any name here. This handle calculate function we have to write here. Okay, so where we are supposed to write this, so we are supposed to write here, right? So event handling. Okay, we are going to write event handling. So how will you create? Just a variable you have to create, that handle calculate equal to, we have to use arrow function, this arrow symbol, open bracket, close bracket. Okay, so in the curly brace we have to write this logic. Okay, inside logic. So what is the logic? Logic is very simple. We are going to use this simple formula for calculating this simple interest equal to principal amount into annual rate interest into tenure by 100. Okay, so this is a very simple formula we are going to use. So let assume that the simple interest is equal to, we have to convert all the data to floating point number. First value is the amount, right? First value is stored in this state variable, right? So this state variable we have to take and convert as float and multiply with, we have to multiply with similarly, sorry, parse float, this actually is coming, use parse float, then inside the rate. Okay, then multiply parse float, the next is tenure. Okay, so now we have this whole thing we have to divide by 100 so that we can able to calculate the simple interest. Okay, the simple interest is calculated. Now the simple interest we can multiply, we can add with the total amount, so that you will be getting the total amount also. Okay, so let you can directly also we can set. Okay, so set now the simple interest is calculated. Now this simple interest we have to store, right? Where we have to store? Already we have created a state variables like this interest. Okay, result variables. Okay, so we have to set, we have to call set interest, we have to pass this SI. Okay, similarly we can set total amount, we can set total amount, we can set by using SI plus that particular amount, parse float amount. Okay, parse float amount is already the input. Okay, so when you add this interest and this the principal amount, you will get set total amount. Okay, so now the interest is calculated and total amount is also calculated and it is stored in result state variables. Okay, now it is available in this interest variable and total amount. Okay, by default we have set as null, so we have to check. If it is not null only we have to display. Okay, so now let us see how to display this result from this interest. Okay, so when we click we are going to display the result interest and total amount. Okay, so where to display? Okay, so we have to display here. Okay, so we have a place here to display. Okay, so this is the place we are going to display the output. Okay, so here we are going to use a conditional rendering. So what you have to do is you have to start with the curly brace. Okay, and we have to take the interest state, check whether it is not equal to null, and if it is not equal to null we can execute the next section, next statement. When you execute, when you render, always use some HTML tag. Okay, when you are rendering, so we can use a span tag, then followed by we can use this INR symbol. Okay, followed by INR symbol and put dot, followed by we are going to display the amount. So the amount is interest like this. Okay, so this is done, right? So the same way the total amount also we have to display like this. The total amount is not equal to null, right? And followed by span tag and followed by this INR symbol, we have to copy paste dot, and this curly brace. A dot is just to display dot symbol. Okay, the how to display the result is using curly brace. Wherever you want to display result, we have to use the curly brace. Okay, so if that interest is not null, only this will be rendered, right? Otherwise it won't be rendered. Okay, right? So now when you save it, you can see the output like this. Let us give some input like 5,000. I'm depositing. Annual interest is 10%, 5 years. Okay, so 10% is 500. So after 5 years, 500 into 5, we'll be getting 2,500, right? So 2,500 is a result, simple interest. Here you can see 2,500 is simple interest. So total amount we will be getting is principal amount 5,000 plus this interest 2,500, 7,500. Okay, so that's all about how to how to store user input using the state variable useState. Okay, and we have used event handling for the button click. Okay, button click we have used event handling, and we have used the state variables to map the input from the text box, and when it is changed, we are calling on change, and we are storing the input, the current input for every text box. And in the button we have on click. Okay, we can handle the function, right? So when we click button, this function is called, and it will take the input from the state variables and process the input. Finally the result is updated. Okay, so here the result is rendered by using conditional rendering. Okay, so the output look like this. We'll be getting the output like this. Okay, so that's all about how to create React application for simple interest calculator. Thank you.